Back in 1961, Sir William Lyons and his Jaguar Motor Company released the E-Type, and it had a huge impact on the motoring world. The same kind of impact as the Ferrari 250, the Lamborghini Countach and the Porsche 911. But unlike Lamborghini and Porsche and Ferrari, Sir William Lyons and his Jaguar company didn't follow it up with any kind of successor. Instead, they waited 50 years. 50 long years, during which time the stature of the E-Type has just kept growing, its status as an icon cemented forever in the minds of those who love cars, even those who, like me, don't particularly like the E-Type. There have been other Jaguar sports cars, most recently the very good XK, but none of them even came close to matching the E-Type. Until now. This is the F-Type, and it is quite simply spectacular. Two of the things that made the E-Type such a legend were its proportions and its purity, and the F-Type has followed the same sort of recipe. It looks perfect from every angle. All its elements come together seamlessly. And the best part is, it manages to look like a Jaguar, and at the same time, like nothing else on the road. The look of all Jags since 1961 has been influenced in some way by the E-Type, and this one is no different. But it really has moved things forward in a way that'll make it an icon on its own, without having removed itself from the rest of the Jaguar pack. Jaguar is one of those quintessential British brands. It's understated and refined. And by those standards, this car is quite rude. For starters, it's loud. The kind of loud that scares small children when you go past them. And second of all, you get the feeling that it not only can, but it really wants to misbehave. Driving this car responsibly is like trying to walk a St. Bernard on a sugar rush. There is lots of power and socially unacceptable behavior right at your fingertips, and it takes every ounce of strength not to unleash it. That's not to say there's no refinement in the F-Type. There is. Lots. The interior is driver-focused, the seats are buckety, there are paddle shifts, but there's also no shortage of comfort and amazing attention to detail. The way the temperature controller also adjusts the seat heater, the CD slot that's packed away so you don't see it, and the minimal amount of switchgear. The color, too. Black seats, bronze highlights, red lining for the windscreen in our convertible. It glows in an ice blue at night, and the whole experience is just pure class. Except those bronze bits would be better if they were powder-coated metal instead of plastic. There are three engine flavors for the F-Type, a 3-litre V6 with 250 kilowatts, that same V6 tuned up to 280 kilowatts, and this 5-litre supercharged V8 with 364 kilowatts and 625 newton meters. 0 to 100 time, 4.4 seconds. Top speed, 300 kilometers an hour. And from the moment you get going, you're under no illusions that this car will hit that top speed, and quite easily too. An electrically operated mechanical diff helps transfer power through the 8-speed automatic gearbox, and as the revs climb, so does your astonishment at how strong this motor is. Doing this job, you get used to big performance engines and the way they deliver all that power, but the F-Type does things a little bit differently. When you accelerate, you get that initial shove, and then when you expect it to kind of level off or plateau, it just doesn't. It keeps accelerating with astonishing strength, and it doesn't so much push you towards the horizon as it does shove you. It's the kind of power that has you backing out before you've reached its potential, because you either run out of road or it starts to overwhelm you. And all that time you have that brilliant exhaust sound, wailing as you accelerate, then crackling and popping as you come off the gas. It's a brilliant assault on the senses. This F-Type will happily hang its back end out like a youth league member at a party conference, but it's relatively easy to manage, so you won't end up in the headlines the next day. It has a chassis and suspension setup that informs you directly through your fingertips and the seat of your pants. It's easy to tell that I like this car a lot, but as good as it is, it's not perfect. This center console door thing keeps popping open for no reason, and if you take this car on a road trip, you have to decide if you want to take a spare tire or luggage. And because this is a performance car, you get performance brakes, and those can be very, very squeaky around town. As far as I'm concerned though, none of those things is a big enough factor for me not to enjoy this car, or a strong enough deterrent for me to recommend it. The F-Type is a fantastic achievement because although it was born into a world of political correctness and made in a nation renowned for its obsession with health and safety, it's still a loud, fun, mold-breaking piece of brilliance. And I haven't even got to the best part. This top-of-the-range F-Type costs 1.4 million rand, which is a lot of money, but what else do you get? Mercedes-Benz and BMW don't build a car that competes in this class, and Audi's R8 Spider is less exciting, less powerful, and 400,000 rand more. I suppose for around the same money, you could opt for a Porsche Carrera 4, but then you'd sacrifice some power. As far as I'm concerned, if you have the means, this car is a gift horse. Don't look it in the mouth. Go order one. The 5-litre supercharged V8 feels even stronger than the figures suggest. It takes a brave driver to tame this particular beast. While it has its shortcomings, luggage space being the primary one, the Jaguar F-Type is a supreme performer, and it's also a lot of car for the money.